So, where do I begin? This video is gonna be about the story of my channel, why I started, what I have learned from it, and where do I see it going forward. The reason that I started this channel is pretty straightforward and already mentioned by the title of this video. I remember at the time when I made my first video, I was at a quite confusing and vulnerable place. I don't remember much clearly, to be honest. It is a distant memory. I think I just wanted to put myself outside of my comfort zone, challenge myself to be stronger and expand my capability as a person. Why did I choose this as a challenge? Well, I was always very insecure about myself, especially my appearance, the sound of my voice, the way I talk, the accent I have, my personality. When I think about that, I have been a very unkind person to myself growing up. I know it's not pretty, but it's honest truth. At first, everything was fun and new, scary, but also exciting. And I had a lot of fun experimenting with different types of video ideas. I remember I had a lot to express and say, and I had unlimited amount of video ideas and inspiration. If you imagine you're a door of a room that's been closed for a very long time, but the things inside are filling more and more of that room, and one day you open it and things just overflow like rockets. It was a much needed outlet for my creative brain. However, at the same time, I can also recall I was extremely frightened and anxious to watch and listen to my footage back whilst editing. I was not okay with myself. So this became my challenge or my exposure therapy to overcome this insecurity of mine and to be okay with expressing myself in a way that is as authentic as possible to the outside world. I had a strong need to be seen and accepted just the way I am. Although at the beginning of this journey, I didn't know this was ever gonna get any better, but over time, without me noticing much changes in myself, somehow I'm at a place now where I'm much more accepting of myself. I'm no longer cringed out by listening to my own voice. I can watch back my own video without criticizing too much about my appearance and personality. Of course, everybody has good days, bad days. Some days you may feel and act differently or look better than the other day. But overall, when I see myself, I can hold compassion and appreciation instead of mostly punishing verbal abuse, which I have done a lot to myself in the past. Through reflection, I noticed how I have changed over the span of this entire journey, and I got a lot of insight from it. So in the next bit of this video, I want to share with you some of the things I have learned from this journey. The first thing that is quite obvious, which I have learned, are skills for content creation. I wanted to give myself the recognition for that, not because my videos have any impressive video editing skills in it, but more so how I have improved from ground zero to where I am today. I had zero experiences and skills from the start, so I learned pretty much everything from scratch through doing. I'm actually quite impressed with how much more comfortable I am with editing videos compared to when I first started. And although I don't know why the hell would I ever need these kind of skills in my life if I was to stop doing this, but hey, I'm always up for learning new things because it genuinely makes me happy when I learn something new or figure something out. The second thing I have gained from this journey is clarification in a lot of things I had questions for. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who has a lot of questions that needs answers growing up. We all have that. As somebody who is not very persistent with journaling, if I didn't start this channel, I may still have a lot of live questions that haven't been thought through or processed. And I think if you look through the content I have made over the years, you probably know what I'm talking about. There is a lot of content about self-exploration, discovery, a lot of reflection time spent to come up with my own solution or answers to those big life questions that I had. Of course, this is not the only inspiration for self-exploration, but it did contribute to a big portion of that. I'm not saying by this point I have figured everything out. Self-exploration and discovery is a never-ending process, and we will all have more and more questions to answer in the future, and I'm looking forward to that. But setting goals to be consistent with my content for almost 2 years have given me so much value and insights, which I have taken on with me as a part of my life journey. I would say it has accelerated my personal growth. The third and probably the most important thing I gained from this journey is a healthier relationship with myself. This is probably related to how I'm more accepting of myself now, which I mentioned earlier on. Healthy relationship with self-acceptance, self-image, and self-recognition are all closely related. Maybe this one will shock you, but I would say the best lessons I learned from this journey is from the fact that my channel had barely grown from the day I posted my first video. A lot of people may be thrown by that and even a bit confused about what I'm saying, because perhaps it's a bit of a shameful thing to openly admit and disclose that I had a seemingly unsuccessful channel for the entire 22 months, which I had put a lot of effort into. On the surface, I failed. Yes, I failed hard. I know there will be people coming at me saying, but it's not even 2 years yet, or look at Mr. Beast, who was on YouTube X amount of years before he got discovered. But I have done my maths and I know how much time I can give and how much time and effort it takes to make the type of videos I make. Deep down inside, a long time ago, I already kind of knew by the rate that I'm gaining subscribers and views, I would never make it here unless some kind of miracles happen out of a blue moon one day. The reason that I still kept on making videos knowing that is because I honestly really enjoy making videos and I cannot ignore the joy it brings me when I'm in the process of creating. As I mentioned in the previous point, it gave me a lot of personal values as well as joy. However, I would be lying to you if I tell you that I'm doing this purely for my own enjoyment as a hobby. Deep down, I was also clinging onto a weave of hope that someday, just someday, my channel will have more recognition, that one day it will reach to more people and make a bigger impact. I will talk more about this later on, but because I kept on making videos, improving my content despite having very little view and subscribers, where barely anybody gave me any validations of the work that I do, I learned to appreciate and validate myself and my own work. I got to a place where I look at some of my recent videos and I'm actually proud of my work because I like them. They are by no means anywhere near amazing or entertaining, but I think they are good, valuable videos. You know, I never thought I would get to this place where I am my biggest cheerleader. This is exactly what I needed to heal my relationship with myself, and God knew it, and it's a perfect gift. It's a gift that this journey did not get my brain wired to just please others, please what the world wants, what the algorithm wants. I'm not addicted to other people's approval and chasing success. I chose to stay true to myself regardless of how many people appreciate me and my content. Instead of shaming myself, I chose to demonstrate compassion and respect towards myself and say that this is where I am now and it is okay. Everything and every matter is like a double-sided coin. You can see it one way or the other way. It is our choice. The me today still have a lot to say, a lot to be expressed, but I'm not sure if it has anything to do with me having a healthy relationship with self and depending less on external validations now. Somehow, I don't have such an urge to share as I once felt in the beginning. Despite what I have said about the lessons I learned from it being a basically dead channel, personally, I also don't think it is sustainable to keep going like this long term. I always tell people this is my hobby only because I don't earn a penny from it. But in reality, I was actually treating this more than just a hobby. It felt more like a part-time job without any reward, if I'm being completely honest with you. There were times I had other things going on in my life and I didn't feel like making videos, but I still did it because I take my subscribers quite seriously. I know it's only 100 and a bit, but I'm so grateful about them. When I think about it, there are 100 people who subscribe to me because they like my content, which made me feel like almost a sense of duty to keep being consistent for them, especially the recently subscribed people. I feel a bit bad to just stop or keep them hanging when they just joined for more. I was thinking about what makes a job satisfying, what makes someone enjoy their job, and what did I feel when I found satisfaction in my work. In my humble opinion, I think as a human species, we are working not only because we get money and safety from it, but also we feel valued as an important chess piece in a society. You feel that you are a useful person, a person of value, and a person who does something that somebody else finds value in and is willing to pay you for your service. The underlying message is you are important and you matter. The work that you do matters. I believe this is a fundamental need we all have, just by being a human, a social creature. Thinking back, whenever I felt dissatisfaction in my job and workplace, the common thread between all of these is when I felt I didn't matter. What I did not matter to the organization, to the project, or the client. They didn't need me, or just not enough things or responsibility to cover, so basically I felt they could do it without me. That's when it is game over for me every time. I cannot last if it starts to feel like that and it doesn't get better with time. Although this channel has given me so much in terms of self-development, somehow I feel as though something is missing. Even doing volunteering work can give me a sense of satisfaction if I feel and know that what I'm doing is contributing to a meaningful cause, or there is a valid reason to why I do what I do. Not just for myself, but also for the positive impact it creates on others. And just this will give me, I guess, enough will to keep creating for free and be very content about it. It seems that most people in this world are always focusing on how much they can get for themselves, how much they can grab from others, how much they can benefit from others. Everybody is hungry from a deep sense of lack, myself included. But having started this channel purely for personal developmental reasons and kept going with it till today, I realized a connection to the world outside of me is equally as important to me as the inner work that I do for myself. I don't know what this means for my channel going forward. As I said, I still have tons of video ideas and things I like to talk about and share. Maybe I will see you in another video, maybe not. Maybe I will start a brand new channel and try again, who knows. But one thing I know for sure is I love creating and expressing, and no matter what form or medium I create through, I will never stop creating. I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to everybody who watched this video till the end. If you're subscribed to me, thank you so much for being a part of my journey, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye!